is Talamika, aka Popov, and this is Kology, aka Kology, which is my voice of reason after I done popped off. So right now, today's date is, what's today's date? The October 25th, right? So we got elections in 8 days. So elections is coming up. Do you want to vote for Trump or do you want to vote for Biden? Clearly, he don't want to vote for no. He don't want to vote for nan one of them. To me, it's kind of like you flip a coin. It's the same person with a different Democratic Party they represent, but that's no here, no there. But I mean, the election's coming up. And what are some of the topics that is going on right now with the election? Like rumors that people been saying with the election prior to like November the 3rd, which is the real voting day. Oh, one of them is, be careful. If I find out you voting for Biden, you better watch your back. How you gonna know who I'm voting for though? Like, I could just tell you whatever. Like, for one. So we gotta watch our back. I wish a beep would tell me, oh, you better not vote for this person, or you know. I wish it's been Corona. I got something.
I haven't heard that.
Huh?
I haven't heard that.
You haven't heard? If you at the polls, you remember when Trump was like, stand down. So there's some KKK members that's saying, oh, if I catch you at the polls and I see that you vote for Biden, you better watch your back. You ain't hear that?
No, I heard I heard something about the stand down thing.
Stand down, right?
But I didn't.
That's what that was.
Context,
so rumors going around that there's going to be a race war.
That's what P. Diddy said. If Trump wins.
If Trump wins, they're going to be a race war. What you think? You think it's going to be a race war?
I think there's going to be protests regardless of who wins. But I definitely think if Trump wins, there will be more anger. More anger.
Sure. But if Trump wins, you think it's going to be more anger. But what if Biden wins? Is it still going to be a race war? Are they coming after all black people? Like,
No, I don't think so. I think he was just saying if specifically if Trump won, there would be a race war, if I'm not mistaken.
So I think this whole election right now, I don't even think it's about Republicans or Democrats and what they stand for. I think it's about, blacks and whites. It's like Black Lives Matter and KKK.
I think we're literally like voting for the soul of the country. That's kind of how I see it. Like we're voting for to decide like who we want to be. It's not traditionally an election it doesn't really run that deep in terms of like a soul question in terms of like where we're going, but for whatever reason with like this election and also the previous election, it has like a deeper you know what I mean? It has
like a deeper reason why people
it has
voting.
like exactly. There's something deeper going on there. It's not just politics. It's like we're really just trying to figure out who do we want to be as a people, as a country, who do we want to be?
But I don't think Biden is a good person to represent us.
He's not, but
or the Democratic Party side. Definitely.
I think they're okay when it comes to like unity and getting along and being on the side of like liberty and just people coming together. I think that overall the Democrats are more in favor of a unified world, a unified country, than say the Republicans, who are very like America first,
right?
Type of a mentality going. Like those type of sentiments tend to find themselves popping up more in people who lean Republican for whatever reason
Right.
than people who lean Democrats, who are more open to inclusion.
So how you feel about P. Diddy saying, okay, so there's this thing about P. Diddy saying he wants an independent party. And with this independent party, he wants it to be, black leaders and stuff like that.
See, anything that puts a label as black, or anything that segregates or separates people based on race, I'm not for it, right? So if it's just a thing where he wants to start an independent party, nothing to do with race, just based on this literally just politics, then I'm all for it. But if it's something where you want to start a black party, where I don't see how that further unifies the country.
Right. I feel like I like the independent party. I like that idea.
Yeah, every country should have, because when you have a system where you just have two political powers in power, you need a third. You know what I mean? The more the more perspectives that people can be given and the choices that people can choose from, I think overall the better.
So if there's an independent party and they are saying, all right, with this independent party, we're going to address the issues that was never addressed, because all of the issues that America is facing now was never addressed, not even in the debates at all. Like nothing was addressed. No serious issues was addressed. There was just two kids talking back and forth.
Especially the first debate.
So you mean to tell me the first time ever they got a new people mics? Are we five? We five right now. The person who got the microphone can talk? Like, it don't make no sense. So these are two people we gotta vote for. So that's why I'm all for the independent party, but the independent party too has to address the issues, right? The issues at hand. Like, I agree with Yang with the giving out forever a stimulus to not black people, but for everybody across the board, right? I agree with that. I agree with, like even in the now there's things like the right to arm, so the gun laws, some of those we gotta change. We gotta change like things that personally impact the minority community for sure. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are they doing for the minority community? Because there's a lot of rage in our community because there's a lot of issues that is lacking. We are getting gunned down. Are you going to change the police department? Are you going to change some of those laws and some of those rules? And it's not about, to me, like black and white with the police department. It's about training in general, because I've seen some of our people, cops, that's just out of control the same way, and I don't think it's a black or white. I think it's I'm in power, you're not, so you do what I say because I'm a cop and you're not, and that's not okay.
That's really what like a lot of it stems from, the whole power thing. Because say for instance you've got a country like Jamaica where it's like all black people, cops are the same.
They're worse.
Even worse. So then it's not. So then you wouldn't say it's racism why the Jamaican cops are so bad to the Jamaican citizens. So it's obviously not, but for whatever reason in the U.S. it's always like a lot of it is racism, but like it's clearly not only
it's
racism.
A power thing.
It's a power thing.
In Africa too, I've been there, and they got choppers on,
And it's all black people on black people.
On black people.
So it's not. It's really a power thing.
It's a power thing, and they need to lower their little egos, because they have the mafia behind them where they feel like they can do whatever they want, and they're not going to get reprimanded for it. So, the new political party or that independent party, are you going to address that if a cop does something wrong, are they going to get reprimanded and not just a slap on the wrist? Nah, y'all got to get fired. Not only fired, but y'all got to, compensate the family or do something, or go and not get fired but get arrested. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got to go to jail too. Like, just
I heard
a cop.
I heard someone say something though that I'm trying to figure out the exact quote. It was like, with their power should come like, it's not equal power, equal responsibility. It's like, because okay, how it is now is like, say for instance, like a cop is way more likely to get away with like the same crime
Right.
as someone else, right?
As a civilian.
But what it should be is, because you have that extra power,
Right.
maybe your punishment should be, it should be more. Like
Right.
your punishment should like it should be even more than a regular citizen, because you have that
Authority.
that authority and that power to do things that a regular citizen can't.
Right.
So with that power, you shouldn't be getting a slap on the wrist for the same thing that a regular citizen does, who doesn't have the same power as you.
Right.
You know, so.
No, I agree. I think that if we just put that one law in that says, oh, if a cop does something wrong,
You get like
not only
3 more years than a regular.
right, like
or whatever it is, you know what I mean? Like, it'll be
you go to jail.
equal to your
Even
power.
if you just say you go to jail, right? We're not even talking about you getting more. But these cops not even going to jail. They could murder somebody and they don't even go to jail. They say they get suspended or they get fired. What? You just took somebody's life, so they don't even go to jail? No, like even if you go to jail, at least they can even if you just say you go to jail, right, and you get the same punishment, things would change definitely.
You talking about the Breonna Taylor thing in particular?
No, I wasn't, but if you want to go into it, we can. Breonna Taylor, somebody goes into her house. First of all, they never had a warrant, right? So they go into her house, they shoot up the place and kill her, right? So all them people who broke into her house, because they didn't go in, I don't even think they was scheduled to work or whatever. It was some craziness going on, but they broke into her house without a warrant. That alone is that you're breaking and entering. You know what I'm saying? So whoever shot her, however many people was in there, because the cops know they ain't have a warrant.
Let me tell you how I feel about it. I don't know who had a warrant or if someone did or didn't have a warrant. But let me tell you why I think in that particular situation why the police got off. Apparently there was it wasn't just they went in and started shooting. Apparently there was a shootout of some sort, and she was sleeping, and a bullet from the cop's gun hit her and killed her. The reason why I think that they were able to get off and not get charged with like a manslaughter or murder or anything was, I think they looked at it as the police was engaging in police duty, and a mistake occurred where an innocent bystander got hurt. So the reason like why you can't, because no one is thinking, I haven't heard anyone say that the cop purposely went in and murdered Breonna Taylor. I don't, like, that's not like I think we all understand, like, she was sleeping, a stray bullet hit her. I think that's like understood. The reason why you can't have that is because then you're gonna have cops who are like, because the law also has to protect police to be police. And unfortunate circumstances are gonna happen where, something like that happens. So I don't know if you can put someone in jail. You see what I'm saying? It's like, that's a slippery, like, that particular situation would be a slippery slope to say that you're gonna a stray bullet from a cop's gun while he's engaging in police combat, unfortunately kill someone, and then you're gonna put that cop in jail. So
I think you can say it if they never had a warrant. You can't break in. You can't walk into somebody's house.
I don't know
without a warrant. Now, if they didn't have a warrant, all of them need to be in jail.
But did he shoot? See, I don't know. I don't want to get into, because I don't know. My question was gonna be, did he shoot from in the house or out the house?
No, they were. So somebody break into your house, her boyfriend starts shooting. He have every right to, because these people don't have a warrant. They didn't knock on the door and say, hey, I have a warrant to search your house. Here's the paperwork. They came in with guns blazing. So all he was doing is protecting. So the right way to do it is if the cops were to knock on the door and say, we have a warrant to search your house, here's the warrant, you have to let us in. That's the proper way to do it. But because they didn't do that, they break down the door and they go in. And you're not supposed to do that.
Okay, I don't want to be the different
exactly.
You
want to leave that alone. Exactly. So there's so many holes in that story where the cops are still wrong at the end of the day. Because even if I'm in my house, I have a whole bunch of cops coming in and they start going crazy in my house, I have every right to shoot them, period, because you're in my house.
Yeah.
And you never gave me warrant or you never gave me anything to say that you guys are allowed to be in my house, to search my house. So because I don't have that piece of paper, you're not supposed to be in my house. The same thing when you're getting arrested, they're supposed to read you your, what is that thing called? Memorandum?
Rights.
Whatever. If you don't read it to me, why are you putting handcuffs on me? Am I arrested? Read me my rights. You understand? So cops are being, to me, they're not operating in the manner they're supposed to be operating in, and because of that, the civilians are getting upset, and we are like, no.
And the cops think that they can get away with things
because they've been getting away with things.
Because they have been getting away with things.
So now you got these new age cops coming in, seeing the bad ways of the old cops, and then they're becoming worse.
Yeah. So we need to be a lot stricter with the punishment that we lay on cops. With the power that you have, you should be penalized just as much for abusing that power.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing. Like if you are going to, it's like it reminds me of a kid and an adult. Like you're the adult. If you carry on a certain type of way, you have to get reprimanded worse because it's a kid. You have authority over the kid, and that's what it is. Like if I behave a certain type of way, they're gonna be like, oh, it's a kid, whatever. Oh, they don't know no better. They're a kid, da da da. So they get punishment, but you're an adult. You can't be carrying on like a kid or worse, and then you could just carry on, and it don't matter. Nothing happens to you, because now you're gonna look at all the kids and you're gonna beat all the kids for no reason, and it's kind of like that's not okay, like that. Sometimes everybody can't have power, You can't give everybody power, and I think that's what it is. Anybody is able to become a cop. And there was this sign that this lady had. She says, I am a cosmetologist. I go to school for 2 years to get my license. And you're a police officer. You go to school or training for 6 months or 6 weeks or something like that, and you become a cop. What kind of sense that make?
Yeah.
You understand? So it's kind of like, that's true. What kind of sense that make?
Yeah.
It don't make no sense. So if you're gonna have 6 weeks worth of training or 6 months worth of training, whatever the number is, oh no, if you do something wrong, you best to go to jail.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It don't make no sense. Well, back to the independent party, if they address stuff like that. Now, what I would want, say if I were to write my own little rule, right? So right now they're saying the Democratic Party is raising taxes for people who are making over $400,000 a year. You got people who complaining who making $35,000 a year. So now they're raising the taxes for people who make over $400,000 a year, and people who are not making any money. People who make it $35,000 or less, they the ones who complain. I don't want my taxes raised. That rule don't apply to you.
Yeah, but that's just people not knowing.
Huh?
It's people not knowing.
Right, so they up there going to vote for Trump, not knowing that rule didn't apply to you. So even so that's for one. Y'all just don't even know what you don't know, but whatever. All right, so y'all raising taxes. So now I wouldn't mind taxes being raised, right? But if you're gonna raise taxes, give me free health care. Give everybody free health care. Right? Or even if you're gonna say, I give independent business owners free healthcare, or I give out free healthcare, right? I could just give out free healthcare. I wouldn't mind my taxes being raised. I wouldn't mind my taxes being raised if everyone get the stimulus. say everybody get a check for $1,000, $1,500 a month, just because we're in America. Like, I don't mind raising my taxes.
And that's not even going to come from your taxes either. That's going to be coming from the taxing the companies
Or whatever.
Taxing the companies. So it's not even coming from like, yeah.
Right, and then all these big time corporations that's making billions of dollars, buying, a bunch of nothingness. Like, it's kind of like I don't mind raising my taxes or wherever the money comes from if you're gonna put cash money back in people's pockets. So even now we're under Corona or whatever they call it, and we got the stimulus package of $1,200. What, twice or one time? Once, right? And it's kind of like one time $1,200.
I haven't even got mine.
I haven't even got mine, so it's kind of like, all right, all this for one payment of $1,200. I use that for groceries. Like, stop the foolery. And y'all up there like, look, we gave y'all $200. That ain't shit. Like, that's nothing. Oh, whoop-de-doo. Like, that's for groceries. Stop the foolery. And for me, it's like, I don't mind my taxes being raised if you're going to give us, a stack of money. Okay, that could do some damage, For me, it can. Yeah. Or whatever.
But again, with Andrew Yang, what he's talking about is called universal basic income, which is what Andrew Yang is proposing, where you give every American citizen $1,000 a month forever, like for the rest of their life, just for being an American citizen, right? So that $1,000 wouldn't actually come from, like I said, from individuals being taxed higher. That would come from corporations being taxed. So,
which is fine, know.
Yeah.
Which is fine. I mean, I think that's fair.
And we should actually we're gonna put a link in the description below of Andrew Yang's interview with Joe Rogan. It's an Andrew Yang Joe Rogan interview episode. Super informative. So we're gonna put it. Yeah.
Right. I think he had a lot of great ideas.
For sure.
That I think that and so now it's kind of like it's saying if we did have an independent party, all that's going to do is split up the votes, because if Andrew Yang had all these great ideas, why us as a minority, as a collective, why didn't we vote for him to
because
be?
we didn't know. We
didn't know what we didn't know.
Yeah, we don't know what you don't know. You know the name Joe Biden, you know the name Donald Trump. No one knows, like, I'm guaranteed people watching video right now, most of them don't know Andrew Yang. It's probably the first time you're hearing the name Andrew Yang.
Yeah.
But next time around, he'll be a lot more known, and
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Like, everybody's going out to vote. And even with pre-elections, or even getting people as someone to be a candidate, people are not voting in those polls and stuff like that, which is kind of the most important, because right now it would have been either Andrew Yang or what's that other older one name? Bernie Sanders. I'm about to say Bernie Mac. Bernie Sanders.
You think Joe Biden's gonna win?
I do. I think that the polls right now is going for.
That's the same polls that show fucking Hillary sweeping the whole map.
I see.
This makes me nervous. I don't. Cause the thing, I think last time people got so comfortable thinking Hillary was gonna win,
right?
That they never. They're like, oh, she's fucking
win.
10 points ahead.
So she good.
She did good, and no one went on and fucking voted. But they're like, yo, there's no way this nigga's gonna fucking become. There's no way this nigga's gonna win, right? So they're like, we don't even need to vote, like, forget about it. And then that's what happens. So I don't want the same. So I'm kind of like nervous about the same thing happening. And actually, there are a lot more people now, black people in particularly, who are more on Team Trump than before.
Okay, do you think Biden comment on?
I think it's a lot of things. I think it's people follow. So when you have influential people in the black community, say for instance a Kanye or a 50 Cent coming out and saying, being in support of Donald Trump, that influences a lot of people's opinions. When you have Yeah. So when you have influential people, you know, that's gonna influence people. So
I think you hit the nail on the head. Like I think everyone's looking at the polls like, oh, Biden is up, so I don't need to vote. And even this year, a lot of people are not voting too because they're seeing is is the you choosing of the two evils, like
but
they're
it was I
the
don't,
same
I don't
person.
get that.
I
They're
get
also
it.
not the same. How
Think about it. All right, so you got Trump,
bro. It's like,
and not in the political and what their political views are. It's in who they are.
that's
right?
that's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah,
how can you say Trump and Biden are the same person?
Okay, let me give you
Like,
an
bro,
example.
It's not.
All right,
even,
so you got.
We have a listen. We can roll back the tape 40 years, right? 40, 50 years. We can look at Joe Biden in the halls of Congress, walking through the halls of Congress at 30 years old, 40 years old, 50 years old. We can see the fight he's been fighting. Has he been correct on every policy he's made? No. But we can see him at 30, 40, 50 years old coming up. We can see the track record of where his mind is at, where who he wanted to be, what he wanted to give his life towards. And that was the people. Like literally, we can rewind the tape 50 years and see Joe Biden giving speeches representing people, right? If you look at Donald Trump's past, it's riddled with like lawsuits and like discrimination lawsuits and just all sorts of like negative things in his past. And so it's never been about charity. It's never been about the people. It's never been about helping anyone. It's always been about, can I make more money? Like, you know what I mean? It's never like we can see the track record. So when someone says Donald Trump and Joe Biden are the same person, like I don't understand like how that like argument can even be like.
How? Okay, so as for the shallow part, I know because so you have a lot of tapes out there where Biden is like, okay, first of all, you already know Trump is perp, right? He's just perp. So you got Biden too talking about, I like it when I have little girls bouncing on my lap. What? Like,
you know what happens? You know what happens when you're so naive and so pure.
That ain't pure.
No.
That's a slip up.
No. But
did
sometimes.
I say that out loud? Yes. Cause that's what you do. You like bouncing on your lap, right? just like he slipped up and was like, "You're vote for me." You ain't be like, "No, but oops, that's a slip up." Biden be slipping up. I'm like, Biden. I like him bouncing. I was gonna sit there. He said that he likes smelling little girls' hair. So as he bouncing them on his lap, he like smelling their hair. Like,
yeah, no, but
that's
it's funny, and I understand. I understand the joke to be made. I understand it, and it's funny. It's funny, right?
No, it's real.
But
he's a perv too.
No, but he's not though.
And then
if you're coming from a place of like he's so innocently thinking of a situation where he doesn't realize that saying a little girl born something like that's gonna come across weird.
Okay, what about what about
just,
I like smelling little girls' hair?
It's the same thing. I don't, bro.
What?
Let's really not sit
I
here.
like smelling a little girl's hair.
Yeah, let's really not
Boy,
sit
you
here
smell
right
my
now.
daughter. If you take my daughter's hair, they be like, I'm gonna pop you in your damn nose.
Let's
you
not sit here right now
That's
and try to
crazy.
and try to
I'm gonna smell
and try to like pretend like the character of Donald Trump and Joe Biden are like.
But you don't know. You don't know about what he do in the closet. And then he says, okay, so that's for one. And then he's going around acting like he ain't racist. I think he is though. I think he is. I just feel like one is out there. Donald Trump, he out there with it. He don't give a flying. He don't care. He's just like, yeah, whatever. But I think Biden is the same. He's just not gonna come out.
But what do you think? But why do you think that though? Why you want to think that?
Because of some of the statements that he does. A lot of the laws, people are not looking at these laws that he's been passing. It's no different from Clinton laws, right? Putting black people in jail. So like, this is what's heartbreaking about Clinton, right? So all the black people for Clinton.
Do you trust Obama's judgment?
No.
Really?
Mm-mm.
Not as like his judgment in people, like in this person's a good person to have around me.
Mm-mm.
Really?
No, because think about it. Like, same thing with Clinton. Like the media is promoting Clinton as this great guy, right? But Clinton owns the Clinton party owns a lot of the media, right? So for me, I don't trust the media not a lick a bit. So Clinton put so much black people in jail with some of his laws. It's not even funny. This is how bad it is. You got a lot. Half of the people who are in jail right now is from marijuana. They legalized marijuana and these people still sitting in jail.
That's fucked up. Like,
that's fucked up.
Can you imagine being in jail for weed?
For something that's legal now?
And then now you fucking see niggas fucking on TV smoking that shit legally. When, bro, no, that's...
It's heartbreaking. So
everything, like, that everyone who is in jail for, especially marijuana, anything non-violent...
should have been out by now.
100%.
Period.
I don't even know how they're even... I don't even understand how that hasn't happened yet.
Right.
From the first state passed recreational marijuana use to be legal, that should have been automatic.
That should go hand in hand.
Everybody's, yeah.
But it didn't.
That should be automatic. Right?
It was looked over.
I don't understand. Can you imagine?
And then, okay, so this is what I'm saying. So you got people put in jail from Clinton, and Clinton, he played a...
But it's not. That's the thing. It's not just Clinton. It was both parties were like, there were Republican administrations, Democratic administrations that saw
right.
that saw everything.
That's it. Okay, so this is my point. So back to then we had Bush. Bush is worse than, both the Trump and Bush is the same. Anyways, so then we have Obama. And so there was this thing on the Ricky Smiley show that has this preacher talking about how during we got to go out and vote because during Trump you have Trump who's electing all these judges in office. He elected over 52 judges in office in his campaign. So my question is, if Trump used his 4 years to the max, because he may not get another 4, right? He used it to the max. Why didn't Obama use his 8 to elect any of the judges?
Well, I don't want to misspeak here, but I think one of the judges died. So you had to, I think you can't re-elect someone unless one died. So I don't know the exact rule, but I know one of them died recently. So that's why one was put in. So if she didn't die, so maybe none died under, you know what I'm saying? Maybe no one died.
He had put 52 judges.
Oh no, that's different. That's different. That's like district. I don't want to misspeak because it's not. Cause when you say judges, people think like the Supreme Court judges.
No. I'm thinking. He had a handpick. So these judges are judges for cases where if I'm a cop and I shoot you and they
like
go in front, right,
like
which is important, which is just as important because these judges are the ones who say this cop can go to jail or so these are big time, these are for big cases and stuff like that, mainly for when you're calling in these judges for cops and big time cases and stuff like that. So you hired in the 4 years 52 judges to go in, right? How many did Obama elect? 2?
I don't
know. 8 years?
I really.
We could look it up.
Yeah.
We could look it up and put it in the link. But what I'm saying is that you even said out of yourself.
Someone made a post and it was a black guy. He made a post on Snapchat in support of Trump, and I commented on his thing, and he responded and he said, "What has Obama done for you?" Right, and that's like a very common rebuttal that I see like black Trump supporters making to black Democratic candidates, and first of all, I don't know what they think Trump did for them. For that question to even make sense. But then second of all, it's like to say something like, what did Obama do for you? It's like, if you go back, when was Obama elected? 2000?
Shoot, 2002? No.
Whatever it was.
I don't know.
If you go back to that time period, right?
Back in the beginning of
Back to
2000.
the time period. Back to that time period. If you remember how the state of the country was.
2010, something like that.
Something like that, right? It was like Trump was 16, right? Trump was 16.
Mm-hmm. So you go
10,
back 8 years, 2008. 2008.
I think it's 8. Yeah,
Right,
it's 2008.
2008. Okay, yeah.
2008. Right?
2008 and 2000.
In 2000, if you ask, I guarantee, he was elected in 2008, right? If you go back to 2007, 2006, ask the majority of black people, is it possible? When do you think it's possible for the first black person to be president? You know what everyone would say in 2006, 2007?
Right.
The most popular answer would be never.
I would say
there would
never.
There would never be.
To see that it was possible for a
To
black
see that,
president.
yeah, to see that it was possible, like
A black person to be
the
president.
hope that instills the hope and belief in a generation of young black men that instilled and is still with them today. That even when it seems like the world is against me, I can still rise up and even become president of a country like the United States of America. That alone is such a powerful gift that he was able to deliver to us. So when that same black person who 8 years ago, just like a teenager growing up, he's I see a whole group of people unappreciative of not unappreciative but not you know what I mean, they're so quick to forget.
What I'm saying about Obama, and you're right, I think having a black president, even if he would have been president and he didn't do nothing, which he did, because he took a lot of black people out of jail. He didn't change laws to make nonviolent crime.
He wasn't as forceful in international affairs
as he should have been.
When it comes with the military action, as he should have been.
Right.
But in terms of keeping the country together, being a positive, you could look at him and see someone that you have confidence in, and someone who's competent, someone who's empathetic, someone who you know you can, even though you can say that they all lie, but at least you can look at him and say,
So he gave you hope.
Exactly.
And for me, hope is great, but it ain't good enough. And I'm not saying.
And that person said hope doesn't pay the bills, and my response was that it actually does, because if you're a black man, right? You're a black man. You're thinking, oh, there's no future in America for me. I can't do this. I can't do that. There's no reason for me to even go to this job interview because I'm black. There's no point in even trying, right? What hope does is, hope says, you know what? Even though I may think this, I still have some sort of self-belief to still go out there and try. And that pays, little steps like that will lead to you being in a much better position
than giving up.
So to say that hope doesn't pay the bills, it may not come knocking on your door and say, here's $1,000, but it's going to ignite you in different ways that's going to lead to you, instead of trying to rely on $1,000 from the government, you can make
and when we're talking about that, as far as Donald Trump is saying, he's promoting entrepreneurship because he's a business guy, right? He's saying, I don't want to just spoon feed people. They need to get up and create their own business. What do you feel about that?
They do.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Because
I don't disagree with everything this thing it says.
I agree with it because it's true. Not to discredit the people that need help out there, because it's very hard to make it in America. Even my parents are Jamaican, and we looked at it and we looked at it like the land of milk and honey, right? Oh, if I go to America, I'm gonna make it. But contrary to everyone's belief, that's not how it worked.
You have to,
Whatever
you have to do your shit.
you have to grind here in America.
I'm from Jamaica too, right? So you literally think that you're from America. You come to America, you literally just like you're just handed money.
Right, like, you just come in and I'm rich, bitch.
And then when you move back to, and then when you come visit Jamaica, you're supposed to come with loads of fucking
of gold, and you're like, yo, what's up? I was living in America.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, you went to America.
Exactly.
That's amazing.
So you must be fucking.
You're rich.
Yeah.
And everybody with a handout.
Exactly.
Don't even go on the plane if they see you from America, because even if you go in sandals, you come back and say, they just smell America. Oh, you're America?
It's true, though.
You got money, give it to me.
Yeah.
And it's like, what you gonna do? Fight them? And this is the police. This is the police. Yes, say left hand or right hand. Here you go. There you just take the money. I want to live. Good golly. So it's kind of like you think that, and then but it's not true. You come in, you struggling more than the people who live in Jamaica. Golly. You're like, I know I'm in America, but I'm struggling like a mofo.
Oh.
I'm struggling worse than you.
Yeah.
So my thing is like, yeah, like even if you know, Obama, and like I said, Obama did take out some of the people, but what I'm saying is that I think that when whomever is president, make it count. And I just feel like I'm tired of presidents becoming presidents and you're not seeing change. And I think that's where people are getting fed up and saying, if I'm going to vote for someone,
I definitely saw a change when Donald Trump became president.
Of course,
Like,
I mean, in a good way or a bad way?
A negative way. Like, I still feel it.
But you saw change, though.
But I saw change.
You feel like a racist change, or you feel like the way I feel
like this is not where I want the country going.
Okay,
like I feel
this
like
what I could say about Trump.
If we continue taking that step,
it's gonna be racist. It's gonna be a race.
It's gonna be a dictatorship kind of.
It's gonna be a thing.
It's gonna be divisive. It's gonna be you can't trust anything that you hear coming out of the administration.
It's going to be all lies, which it is. He exposed that, Donald Trump and his foolery exposed that this is all bullshit.
What do you mean?
Okay, for example, I always look at it like, so whether it's Democratic Party or Republican Party, one thing I do feel like when Donald Trump came into office, he made it very racy. He made it very tension. He made people very.
It's also on purpose.
Of course,
that's what he is. It. That's the thing. So it's like, so then you relate it back to your Joe Biden thing. How can you compare the two? Like,
that's what I'm trying to do.
You're not gonna see Joe Biden like. It's just not gonna happen.
Okay, this is why I say, because even though I do see the change in when Trump is in, everyone is they're exposing the racism, right? Before they used to hide it and say hi. Now they're like, I'm a Trump supporter, fuck you, whatever.
Exactly, yeah.
So but what I do, I'm not gonna say admire, but what I do notice about Trump is that when he came into office, he took that power and ran with it, right? By electing all these judges, he put people in place to where the people that didn't quit, to where everything is in favor of him. For even when he does leave, these people are sitting there.
No, but that's what all administrations do, though. But the thing with him is
that's not true. Not everyone does that.
No, they do. But the thing with him is the person that he brought in was so radical and so outside of the conventional norms of people that you bring in. That's why, like, a lot of people he brought in and gave top secret government clearances to are now in jail. Like, literally are now in jail. So so that's why it became more a thing, because he literally brought in crooks, like whoever, and gave them the keys to the nation's
because
secrets.
We're not even going to talk
That's
about
why
Clinton.
it was just like a
Hillary Clinton during the this year going to trial. No, that wasn't in the media. No one talked about that
trial for
at
what?
all.
Trial for what?
Huh?
Trial for what?
For exposing seriously, for exposing she had, remember all those things that was in her file all the stuff that was in her file was, child, what is it
Please
called?
don't even say
Huh?
it. Don't even.
That type of stuff or whatever. No one talking about it. No one talking about it. And my thing is like, what Trump did is he had what he did was he took advantage of, now whether it's right or wrong, he took advantage of his position. And I feel like American people are tired of voting for the Democratic Party, and they never take advantage of their position to where we see physical change. And that's what I think we're tired of. So when I vote, so say if people vote Republican, I know I'm gonna see a physical change. But when people vote Democrat, it's the same. You don't see anything. There's no new laws that pass. There's nothing that affect our pockets. There's nothing that happens. Everything is just on autopilot again. And it's kind of like, what y'all doing in there? Because I don't see y'all electing judges. I don't see
you'd
y'all.
rather worse change?
What I'm saying is
you'd rather
that
worse radical change than incremental, slow progress?
Then why can Trump make such a drastic change right now, and y'all telling us, and then the Democratic Party saying, oh, it's gonna take time? How if it takes that much time? Why Trump go and make change right away?
What change has he made right away?
I'm talking about electing all the 52 judges he elects.
I also don't know what he's.
Okay, look it up. And people not seeing this, and it's kind of like, and I'm not saying that he's making positive change. What I'm saying is that you can see what he's doing, whatever. And this is for Democratic, Independent, or
that's
whomever.
Because it's so radical that it catches your. Maybe it's so radical that it catches your attention.
Right.
Because the good, slow, steady growth that's not exciting and tantalizing. It doesn't make headlines. So like we're like,
so maybe Democratic Party needs to change.
The United States is the United States for a reason, because we've led and innovated. That's like we've led and innovated for a very long time, right? Donald Trump didn't just come in and all of a sudden we're now doing things different. No, we've always done things differently than everyone else. That's why we're the United States, right? So, that's, I don't know, it's kind of.
And my thing is like, I just feel like whoever, if Biden goes in, we're kind of tired of the slow and steady, like
maybe we need
change.
some fucking slow and steady right now.
Oh, when cops are shooting up people, when there's riots going on, when people are losing their jobs.
No, but slow and steady in terms of emotional balance. We need some emotional balance in the country. And maybe he could provide us with some, rather than the erraticness that we've been used to the past 4 years, maybe some balance might serve us well.
And you think Biden is the right person to do that?
No, but he's the choice that we have. Of course not. Nigga, I'm wearing the Yang Gang shirt. So obviously,
Biden should have just, anybody but Biden, like, what happened to what's the old guy name again?
I don't like Bernie, man.
You don't like Bernie?
No, I would have.
Even Bernie, my God, even Bernie would have made and you're right. We needed a radical, because you have someone radical in office right now.
Yeah.
For someone to beat him in the opposite side, you need someone just as radical, right?
Well, we'll see. I mean,
and it's not. I mean, I'm not. Excuse me. I'm not gonna say it's not. What's his name? Biden. I'm gonna say we needed something more radical to kind of counter. You can't have somebody on 10.
You gotta match the energy.
You can't have somebody on 10 doing stupid, like the devil and the angel, right? You can't have the devil beat the angel.
Yeah.
Like, that don't make no sense. Yeah. So Trump on 10 in the morning, he on 10. And Biden on a 2. I'd say 1.5. Biden on a 1.5. You can't beat the bully. Clearly, look at the debate.
We'll see, because like I said, like, remember you said that you think he's gonna win because the pollers think he's gonna win. So
I mean, and the thing is that people and the thing is that the people are looking like, Trump is carrying on with the foolery. I got corona. I ain't got corona. You got corona or you ain't got
This
corona?
thing got corona and got cured in like what 3.5 days. Like literally.
You know what I said?
It's
He
like,
took some black baby cells. He ain't gonna go there. And all of a sudden he cured. Well, baby, you took from Africa to get their stem cells.
Wanna wrap up?
So, in conclusion, do you say vote? Don't vote. Go independent. What you say?
No, you have to vote. You have to vote.
You say vote.
You have to vote for Biden. And
How you telling people who to vote for? You just gotta say go vote.
nah, nigga, vote for Biden.
I say just vote. I say vote if you want to vote, and if you don't want to vote, don't vote.
I say you have a moral obligation to vote. Like humanity, like you literally have like a moral obligation to like lead humanity on the right path. And I'm not saying Biden is the right path. I'm saying he's definitely more in that direction. So vote.
So we have 8 days, and if you have not done early voting, is it too late for early voting?
I don't know. I can't vote.
You can't vote.
I can't vote.
You telling people to vote, but you can't vote.
I got a record.
And see, that's a law that need to pass.
No, I'm actually playing. I can't vote. I don't know. I actually can't vote because I'm Jamaican. I just got my green card. I'm a Florida permanent resident. I'm not yet a citizen of the United States. I will be in 2 years.
Don't tell everybody your business. Oh, you will be in 2 years?
Yeah.
So vote if you want to vote, and vote, and you have 8 days, November the 3rd. So, peace.
That was good.
Bye.